Hi and welcome to week 2 stretch and release session for the weekend. So we're going to begin by coming into our good posture position. So we spread out the toes, we have our feet roughly hip width apart. We try and make a nice connection down to the floor. So we feel not just the toes but the balls of the feet and the heels as well. We feel very grounded. From there we stand up nice and tall, lifting and lengthening up through the crown of the head, but without going into a tense, rigid position. We relax the shoulders and we soften the knees. We'll bring the hands onto the belly and we'll start to think about our breathing. At the moment we're just connecting into normal natural breath. So we just feel this gentle rise and fall. So that's just normal, easy, natural breathing as it's happening. We're just observing it. From here we let the arms relax down by the side and we gently drop our chin forward towards the chest. We then lift and lengthen, keeping the head slightly forward, do a little stretch up through the front of the neck. We drop down and we have a little lengthen away through there. So this first few minutes is just a little check into the body really. See how everything's feeling and just ease our way into our bodies before we get into some slightly stronger work to warm the muscles a bit more. And then we go into our nice stretching phase. So we go one more time here, down and up. We draw back, lining the head up over the shoulder. So slightly tucking the chin in there. It's like a bit of a double chin position to make sure the head is over the shoulders. And we then go side to side with that position. So as we're doing this, it's soft knees and it's relaxed shoulders. And we're just looking, encouraging, as far as the neck feels comfortable. Never going to a point that's painful, but we will be feeling that stretch, of course, on the way round. Coming into our last one here, we come back to centre and we go ear up, shoulder down. And I'm just pressing the fingers down in a slight diagonal just to help anchor that shoulder and keep it down so that we don't end up sort of drifting across like this. So we're lengthening through there. Let's go one more to either side. We'll let the arms relax down and we'll let the head go a little bit further over. Chin comes to the chest. We roll across, we look over, we come back down around and have a look over. We'll just do one more of those each way. Okay, we're going to come back to the middle, lift the head back up so we're nice and tall. We're holding the head again in that good posture position. We draw our shoulder blades back together. We lift them up by the ears, we hunch them forward and then we slide them down. So we come through these 4 different points of back, up, forward and down. And as we do those 4 points and try and encourage them, we're getting this really nice massagey effect through the shoulders, which we really need, definitely by the end of the week, if not every day. So then we go the other way, hunch, shrug, squeeze and slide. So again, just rolling nicely into those shoulders, really feeling that lovely contrast of stretching and squeezing, which as I say, gives that massage effect. Last one here, we think of sliding the shoulders down into the back, so it's nice and easy and relaxed. We bring the hands into the hips next. We pull our tailbone underneath, so we're scooping our tailbone that way, and then we're sticking our bottom out the other way. So we're finding those 2 extremes of our pelvis position. Very, very rounded through the low back here, but then very arched through the low back. And it's finding those extremes of position, reminding our body and our brain about where the hips can get to, but also gently loosening here. When we stop, we come into the centre, so the tailbone is pointing down and the hips are nice and level. And that's our neutral standing position, still with those soft knees, of course. From here, we're going to rise up onto the tiptoes. So we float off the heels, up and away, into a little balance. And we float down. We try to really control that slowly. We flex through the foot, flex through the other foot. We're floating up and we're floating down. And then we're into that flex position. So we're going to take just another couple of these little tiptoe raises. We're starting to challenge our balance, but mainly it's about working into the ankles and the toe joints to give everything a little bit of stretch and mobilise really before we get into our bigger movements. Let's go one more time here. Float it up, whoops, float it down, and flex. We then plant our feet, again with those soft knees, and we take a stretch up overhead, a little squat movement through the legs and a little swing down with the arms. We think about breath a bit more here, so breathe in and breathe out. Inhale at the top, exhale on the way down, reach and release. Let's do a couple more of those. And then reach it up one last time, swing through. We're going to stretch it up. We're going to take these arms around and circle them back. From here, we're going to keep going with those arms. So bring them up, circle them out. So we're back into moving through the shoulders, but it's a bit bigger now as we get the shoulders coming involved with these arm circles. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to go one more time and then stop through here. So the arms are in a horizontal position. We're going to turn gently in an easy twist. Come back and turn, but just have a look. I'm keeping the hips generally facing forward and then turning around the rib cage. I come to the center, I bring my arms over the top and I'm going to roll. So I bring my chin towards chest, not all the way, just gently down, curl through the shoulders and I roll through the spine, softening through the knees. I then roll back up, starting at the tailbone and stacking the spine, coming up to the top. My arms are going to come out to the side, ready for that little twist through. And remember, it's the center of the body that's turning, so your rib cage with your hips stay fairly still. Arms are coming up and over, and we're into that roll down. So you're not forcing your chin down to your chest, you're just gently letting your head come down. And then you roll through the shoulders, soften the knees so you can comfortably reach to the floor, and then roll back up, starting at the tailbone, stacking the spine, bring those arms out to the side and come into that little twist. We're going to go through here one more time. So arms up and over, rolling down through here, softening through the knees and then rolling back up. Start at your tailbone and stack your spine one bone at a time. Bring the arms away to the side, coming into our twist and our twist. Then from here we're coming into center, staying here. We take the arms over to the side, we come up and we take arms over to the side. So it's this lateral bend. So we've had some twisting, we've had some rolling and curling, and now we're doing our side bends. So it's warming up through the spine here really, and giving everything, of course, here a nice big stretch out. So we just do a couple more of those. Just be aware of your breath. We're not working with it too much at the moment. We're just noticing, observing, being with it. Again, those soft knees. We go one more to either side here. And then we return to the top. We let those arms float down. We do a couple of backward circles to open up those shoulders again a little bit more after the forward circling. So stretch it up one more time. And then from here, coming out into a much wider foot position. Now it's a full body twist. So you're lifting up your back foot and everything is turning. So when we were doing our controlled twist before, feet and hips stayed fairly still, we move through the center of the body. Now the whole body is turning and twisting, and we have to lift up the back heel in order to do that. We do another couple of twists through here just to finish off with, and we come back to the middle this time. We're going to give the shoulders a little roll out, and the arms and the legs a little bit of a shake, so we're feeling nice and loose and connected into our body. We're ready to work into our next sequence. So I'm going to come now to the top of my mat, or the back of my mat really, because I want my mat in front of me. So I'm going to have my feet again into hip width apart position. We're coming into that roll down movement we did before in the warm up. So the arms come up and over, creating a forward circle. We curl through the head and shoulders, peeling down through the spine, softening through the knees so that we can reach to the floor comfortably. We're going to walk it out into a plank position. So we're here, slightly soft through the elbows, nice and strong through the body, bum definitely not hanging down here, if anything slightly up. I'm going to slowly draw knee to chest, slide back out, slowly draw knee to chest, slide back out. Walk the hands back in lifting the bottom in the air, and we're going to roll back up. Stacking the spine, starting at the tailbone, rebuilding your posture as you come up. Arms come up and over, and we roll down again, softening through those knees, coming forward into our plank position. And if you do need an option, you could go diagonal plank here. We're going to draw knee up to chest, and then return to plank and walk back up. And we're going to work through that 2 more times, fully through, and then on the third one we'll be coming with it down to the floor. So rolling down through here, coming out into our plank. Make sure those elbows are slightly soft, really concentrate on your body position here. Slowly draw knee to chest, coming back in. So we're warming up a little bit more here now, warming up our muscles, ready for some deeper stretching. Our first section, like I said before, is about mobilising, gently moving everything. We're doing some bigger movements now to bring a bit more heat into the body, so we're ready to stretch. Okay, so we're coming back up, and we'll be coming back down one more time, doing the plank, but then we won't be coming back up. We'll be staying down to come into a little bit more stretching and work. So we soften down through here, we're walking forward, again plank for the last time, slightly soft elbows, nice strong body, nice flat plank position, knee to chest, go back to the plank, and then lift your hips high and press your heels to the floor. They may not get all the way to the floor, but you're just working down through the back of the leg here towards the floor. Again, try not to lock those elbows, and we're just staying in downward facing dog for a moment. Just breathing there a couple more times. And we're going to challenge this a little bit more this week. So we come forward into plank. I'm going to show you a couple of options. Full crocodile, we're going to hover. Elbows come close to the rib cage, hover the whole body down, tuck the toes into up dog. And then we'll go back through to downward facing dog. Let me show you the option. Coming forward into plank, place the knees down. Keep the elbows tucked tight by the body, by the ribs. And then you can either drop down into the floor. This is our baby cobra, which is a great option instead of the up dog if you're not feeling that upward dog. Or you could come onto the knees, come down, and then still scoop through into the up dog. And then we push back into downward dog. So we're going to work through that sequence a couple of times, coming forward. I'm going to take the knees option. My triceps are super tired from doing some filming earlier on in a workshop that I did earlier. So I'm going to stay here, knees and cobra. But if you want to go through that full sequence of crocodile and up dog, then you can go for it. We're going one more time. So we're in our down dog. We're coming forward into our plank. I'm going knees. You can stay high. Elbows stay tucked by the ribs. I'm dropping onto tummy and going to cobra, but you can go straight through into your up dog from there. Whew, that's really warmed me up, so definitely if you've done the crocodile up dog, you'll be warm. Coming up into the all fours position, from here, I'm going to lift my hips into downward dog one more time. Tuck the toes under, push it up, and then I'm going to step forward with my left leg. So I'm going to bend the knees, lunge as far as I can, bring the leg through. I'm going to turn that right foot onto the angle, and I'm lifting up through here, whoops, so I'm ready to warrior. So we're going to do this, this is the same as last week. So some of the movements on either side of this I've changed for this week, but this little middle section I want to work on so that we can really work on our techniques and over the next couple of weeks as well. So our warrior position, I'm aiming to look over the knee so I can just see the toes over the top of the knee there. And I don't want his knee to draw inward here or drift outward here, so keep the foot really grounded as well. Like I said before, this foot is slightly coming in on an angle, and that's our warrior 2 leg position. I'm also bringing the arms up, so I'm here lengthening strongly through the arms, but without doing this. So shoulders are down, try and really soften through there. Although we're strong armed, we're not strong shouldered and tense. And we're just breathing here. Okay, let's extend the warrior. Reach over to this left side as far as you can. We're coming elbow to knee. And I'm either going straight up with the arm, or I may be going overhead. I can extend the warrior by coming lower down, so hand to ankle, or even hand to floor, if you want to go that deep. Make sure though that your body isn't sticking forward like this. So see how I'm more in a lunge position, I've dropped my shoulder, my bum sort of stuck out behind me. I need to try and stay on the side. So if that's a bit deep, we might prefer to stay up high. We're going last breath here. Now, I am a little bit puffed with this because I know I'm really fatigued today, and also because I'm having to talk while I'm doing it. Hopefully while you're doing it, you're able to maintain a little bit more of a connection to the breathing and a bit more control. Okay, we're going to finish off with our triangle. So the hand comes here. I'm going to the ankle, but again, I'm making sure that I'm really open here, turning chest towards you, not sticking my bum out here, and get my bum, push it under there so everything's in a straight line. And again, I can go there or there with the arm. If the ankle is a bit low, either slightly below or slightly above the knee is a good option. Have a slight bend here though. We don't want to put backward pressure on that knee. It's not going to like it. Okay, so I'm going to bend through here, come up to the top, turn both feet to face forward, and I'm going forward fold just for a little reset before we do the other side. So soften the knees, roll down like we did when we had our feet together before. So I'm rolling through the spine and I'm reaching to the floor now. You might be able to get just the fingers there. You might need to rest your hands on your thighs like this. You might be able to support on the shins, or if you're bendy, you might be coming much further in. So I have got my knees slightly bent and I'm lifting my tailbone away to get a bit of that stretch down through the back of the leg there. Couple more breaths in this position, and we're going to go through the other side. So like I said before, we do mobilising and stretching to start with, then we start to go into some slightly more challenging work. So that's what we're doing here. That will make sure we're nice and warm into those muscles, so then we can have some really nice stretching in the final phase. So now we're in this mid phase, which like I say is our strength phase. So this right foot now is turning out, so the toes are going that way. This left foot is turning in slightly on an angle. And I'm going to bend this knee so that I can look and just see the top of the toes over the knee. Okay? I've kept my socks on. I've got a very sticky yoga mat, so I'm not going anywhere on it. But as I did for last week, I would recommend that you guys go barefoot when you're doing this, because you might just find, particularly at home, it probably is going to be a bit slippy in socks. Okay, so definitely barefoot for the grip. Okay, so arms are up, we're reaching out, and of course I'm staying fairly high here today, but you can get much lower into that warrior two position. As long as you don't sort of straighten out this leg, you've still got to keep the knee there just over the toes. What you don't want to do is go deeper by going this way. That's really not so great for the knee. You'll feel that's not going to feel so great. So arms are away. Remember I said before about shoulders. Soften them down, but do be strong in the arms. Think about your breathing. So like I said before, because I'm talking, I know it sounds a little bit more puffy, my breathing, but for you guys at home, thinking more calm, soft breathing, just an awareness and connection to it. Let's extend then. So reach this way and then either come to the knee. This top arm, this left arm is either reaching up or it can be going over. That's particularly useful if you really want this bit of extra stretch here. You could come to the ankle, you could come to the floor. Oh, I'm going to stay up on the knee today. Remember, no bums out that way, no shoulders forward this way. We're trying to get everything lined up. So you might have heard this before, but it's like being between two panes of glass. So like thick double glazing, one's behind me, one's in front. So I can't go too much one way or the other. Okay, so that's our extended warrior. We go into our triangle. So again, where you feel comfortable. So for me, that is ankle. It's quite nice. Could be floor for some of you if you're quite bendy. Watch for pressure on this knee, pushing backwards. Keep a bit of softness there, particularly if you're coming up a bit higher, because we don't want to have, you can say, that pushing back. Really not going to feel so great. So we'll stay here another couple of breaths. Again, you're sandwiched between your two panes of glass, so we're not sticking out and twisting here. Let's try and work it back. Think of scooping your tailbone down, that helps. And we're going to come up from here. So push yourself back up to the centre, turning back into that forward fold. So we'll just roll down, drop the head, roll the shoulders, coming into wherever you did before. So it might be supporting with fingers, it might be supporting on the legs. If you're not able to come too deep, that's fine. Just go to where you can and take a couple of breaths. Okay, from here I'm going to take my hands and walk them around to the side like this. So I'm turning my feet to face this way as well. So I'm going to the left hand side of the room and I'm going to come into a lunge. So we're pretty familiar with these deep lunges from our boot camp stretching. So I'm in this deep lunge. I'm going to place this back right knee down and I'm aiming to stretch now into the front of the hip here. So as I do that, I may be alright staying here, supporting with the hands. I can tell from my hips that that's going to be enough for me, but if you can, you're going to come up onto the knee. And what we don't want to do is just feel like we're really putting downward force here. Try to sort of pull your pelvis forward, scoop your tailbone underneath, and you'll get a big stretch there. Now if you can, if your balance is good, this right arm is coming up and I'm doing a slight side bend. If you feel a bit wobbly, your left hand could be on the floor. So that's down on the other side of this leg, giving me a bit of support. So I'm there. And then I'm releasing back. I'm going the other way. So the hips now are going to go the other direction. They're going backwards. Sending hips back. So it's now this left leg that is stretching. So I've got toes up towards the ceiling, but quite relaxed in the foot. On the heel, lengthening the back of the leg. Again, watch for downward pressure on the knee there. We don't want that. And then just send your tailbone sticking out the other way now. So when we stretch the front of the hips, we have to tuck our tailbone going underneath us and forwards. When we go the hamstrings, we want to go tailbone sticking out or bum sticking out. Another couple of breaths there. And we're going to change it round. So we're going to come just into an easy kneel position. Tuck this right toe underneath. Have both hands on this side. Lift yourself up here. We're going to gently walk ourselves across. And if that transition is super challenging, just find your way over. It's fine. Okay, so both feet now facing towards the right side. Body facing. Left knee is on the floor, of course. And we're here into this hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to try and think of scooping. Like I said before, tuck that tailbone under. Fingers slightly pulling forward away from that knee. So you're not putting lots of downward force here, this way. We're trying to come forward and be slightly off the kneecap. Like I say, really lengthening through there. Then if you can get off the hands, you're going to come up to here. And if you can't, then that's fine. Just stay here. It's absolutely fine. You'll know where that stretch is enough for you. Okay. Then, if you're quite steady and balanced, bring that left arm up and over and hold it there. I'm going to place this right hand for a bit of support there. Oh, that's super deep. So these hip muscles are coming right up in. So you're really probably going to feel quite a lot through the side body as well. We do a couple of breaths there. Okay, very nice. We're going to release from there. Slowly line yourself back up first, but then slowly push your hip back. Let that of the foot, so that's the right foot now, toes pointing up to the ceiling, weight resting on the heel gently, no weight pressing on that knee, and then just stick your bum out behind you. So it's that hamstring. Most of us are going to feel quite a strong stretch in both these two groups of muscles, so the front of the hip and the hamstrings. Pretty much everybody is going to feel lots of stretch there. Okay, very nice. Now we're going to transition this time back into an all fours. So this right leg is just going to slide back through or sweep around the side, wherever's easiest, so that you're coming here, all fours. And we're going to roll up. So it's tailbone is tucking under, head is coming under, and we're trying to do both. So we're not just curling the head, we're not just curling the bum, we're trying to curl under from both angles to get a really nice C shape curve through our spine there. We do a breath, and then we do a release the other way. So it's not so much about bend as thinking of, there's a slight bit of dip here, but it's more like lengthening your tailbone out, lengthening the crown of your head out. Then you're going to bring your right hip and right shoulder towards one another. So I'm scrunching up here, and I'm lengthening out the other side. Then I go the other way. So left hip to left shoulder, so I'm scrunching. So this side is now lengthening while the other side shortens. And then I go up and down one more time. And then I'm going to stretch it out. Now I'm either going to come here, high hips, soft elbows, resting down through the body. Or if you can go child's pose, if your knees are happy, you're going to come there. Either way, let's take a couple of breaths. Okay, from here the hands will slide in. We'll support ourselves as we roll up, and we'll come up. We're going to turn around onto our bottoms and come and have a lay down on our back. Okay, so bring yourself down, and when you get here, you're going to have your knees bent and your feet on the floor like so. There's a small gap, so hopefully you can see that. I've got about the width of my hand from my little finger to my thumb. I've got about that space between my knees, and the same between the feet, so you want that nice even line up. I'm going to let the arms relax by my side, bring my focus back into my breathing, so just notice your breath. You don't have to do it, it's just really more connecting to it and observing it. Okay, so I'm going to think of flattening down through the low back now. So I'm just going to move my arms out to the side so you can see a bit more clearly, but yours will be fine here by your side. We're going to flatten down through the low back and curl our tailbone to point up towards the ceiling. Push up through your hips, so you're lifting your bum mainly off the floor, but as you lift your bum, the knock-on effect of that is that your spine will roll up off the floor. So you'll be here with your arms by your side, your bum in the air. You'll feel a bit of work here into your bottom muscles, the legs, and a little bit in the back. I'm going to take the arms back, stretch them out, circle them out round the side, and as you start to circle round, roll down through your shoulders here, then through your rib cage here, then imagine this rolling pin rolling you out, flatten through your low back and come to your tailbone at the end. What we don't want to have is our feet too far away, so if you find that it's really awkward to roll up, it may be that your feet are too far away, and also if it's going too much in your hamstrings in the back of the legs, draw the heels in a bit closer. I'm going to let you keep going, but just talk a little bit more about this movement as you're continuing to roll up and down. So it's roll up, take the arms back, circle them out, and as they come around, your body is rolling back down. We're going to get that nice flow, so you're going to keep going there. If your hamstrings are giving you too much jip to come up, or your back is not happy with doing too much lifting in this way, then we would do a pelvic tilt. So it's a smaller version of this. So I'll just again move my arms out the way so you can see. So I flatten the low back and roll the hips, but I don't then lift. I then return just into a neutral, relaxed position here. So I'm going to scoop and return. And that is going to help to lengthen out through the low back, mobilize that low back, which is what we're after, and activate into those deep abdominal muscles, very low, deep abdominal muscles, pelvic floor, all of that like deeper core stuff is going on, and I'm releasing through the back, but I'm not having to then put too much work in the back if it's not happy. Or like say, if you find your hamstrings are just giving you a bit of jip, you might not want to come all the way up. If you can though, you've probably done a good few shoulder bridges now, so we'll finish off here, arms circling round, rolling down for the last time. When we get down here, we're going to just gather the knees in, give them a little squeeze, and also just give a little roll through there. So we're doing like a gentle massaging circle, and we do a few of those each way. So we get a nice little wriggle and roll through there. Okay, we're going to pop our feet down onto the floor. We're going to cross our right leg over our left knee like this. Okay, so we are going to do some stretching here in a moment, but for now we're going to keep this left foot down on the floor. Stretch your arms away to the side with your palms facing down for support. Roll this right foot over here to the left side. Breathe in as you do it, and then breathe out, and return to the centre. Then go the other way, so now it's this knee, right knee going over to the side, to the right side. Breathe in, breathe out, and then we're going to keep going. So it's foot to floor here. I don't get all the way, but you know what I mean. That's the direction you're going, and then it's coming up, and then it's knee to floor. Again, might not get all the way, but see how far you get. I'm going to do another couple of rolls through this direction, and this is starting to really loosen and open up through the low back, all around the pelvis, all those hip muscles that do get tight. They're starting to loosen, and we're going to give them a little bit more of a specific stretch in a moment. Keep going, we're going to go one more to either side there. Okay, sorry, I just had to get up for a second. Okay, I'm going to change sides. So, left leg, crossing over, right ankle, no, right knee even. So I'm going to the right side first. So, foot is coming towards the floor. Inhale back up, and then over to the other side. So knee towards floor and back up. And we're going to keep going there for a moment. So you're rolling, you're aware of your breath, you're going to keep moving and just easing into those twists. Okay, we're going into our last one here now. So roll it over, foot to floor, and then knee to floor. We're going to come back up, and again just gather those knees in for a moment. Let's stretch it out here really long. So pointing the toes, take the arms overhead, lengthen out. Couple of breaths there. And then circle the arms around, back into that knees bent position. We go back to right foot over left knee, so we can come into our more static held bum muscle stretching. So take your hands around the back of the leg, and then just ease it in. See if you can keep this right foot a bit flexed, because it helps protect this knee as we come back here. And we're going to feel that round this right bum cheek. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. And of course it's up to you. You'll know by feel how far in you want to work that. Just do a couple more breaths here. Okay, and we're going to change. So right foot goes down, left foot over right knee. We're going to come up, hold on, draw it back. So opening up through there, to that left bum cheek. And just breathe for a moment. Okay, very nice. We're going to release that down. I'm going to take my feet out now. So if you're on a mat, similar to this, you're going to take your feet towards the edge of the mat. If you're just like on a towel or on the carpet or something, it's just going to be a little bit wider than hip width basically. And we then let the knees drop inwards. And if it's not comfortable, you can adjust your feet. The main thing is just that you're supporting by resting your knees against one another. They're very soft and relaxed and you're not even really holding them there. We take our arms up here, palms facing inwards. We do a big reach up to the ceiling and then we pull down from the shoulders. So I'm not bending the elbows to do that, I'm pulling from the shoulders. So I reach up and then I pull down, up and down. Just get those shoulders moving a little bit. And then on this next one, I'm going to reach right up really high, clasp the hands together. Our arms are going to be quite strong here, so I'm holding a strong arm position. And I start to gently rock side to side. Okay, so you'll have to see how your back feels with this mid-back twisting. Just keep it very gentle to start with if you're not sure. And we're doing like a tick-tock action, but like a pendulum, tick-tock. With our breath, we're just gentle. I'm going to start to make a small zigzag pattern so that the arms will travel out overhead. So I'm coming into big stretch overhead, but I'm still rocking side to side. I'm coming back across the front of the body, making this zigzag pattern. So I'm pushing the hands towards the knees. And then I'm coming back up again. And I'm going to end up back in the middle with my hands above the chest, turning side to side. Okay, coming up to the top, so I'm going to finish off here. I'm going to take both arms still in that clasped position, take them back and just allow the arms to stretch back. They might not get all the way to the floor, but just let them hang back there for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. Okay, release the arms, circle the arms out around the side, gathering those knees in one more time. Bring them out, lengthen your low back on the mat so you feel very flat backed. Rolling through one last time. And then back round the other way. Okay, I'm going to stretch out. So carefully place one foot down at a time. Lengthen your legs out, point your toes, take your arms overhead and take a nice big deep breath in and out. And again. And then flex the feet, lengthen down through the back of the legs. So you're pushing through your heels. And again, a couple of slightly deeper breaths. And release. Bring those arms around. Bend your knees, feet on the floor, turn yourself to the side. We're going to come up into a sitting position to finish off with here. Okay. So if you're comfortable sitting cross-legged, that's fine, but if you'd rather have your feet forward, that's okay too, or even straight legs out if you prefer. Okay, so from here, we're going to reach one hand onto the side and take a big stretch over. And coming up and over to the other side. Think about breath here. Inhale, exhale as you stretch. Inhale, and then exhale as you stretch. A couple more of those to either side, encouraging that length through the side of the body and that last little bit of movement for the spine. We exhale, we inhale, We go one more to either side. Stretch, release, stretch, and come back to centre. Gather the hands together in front of you, drop your chin slightly and open out your shoulder blades. Take a couple of breaths, breathing into the back of the rib cage if you can. Sitting up tall again, we release the hands and we rest them gently onto the low back. We draw our elbows back behind us. Again, we just take a couple of breaths there. Okay, and release. Relax the arms, give the shoulders a little roll, and we are done. Thank you very much. I hope you feel nicely stretched and released after that. Good work.